Hi guys, welcome back to B3 Party C. We're doing a versus a versus episode. My wife is here, Talia.
Hi, thanks for having me.
To get this episode started, we are talking about male and female roles in homes, basically. But I said Hispanic homes because that's what we're gonna be talking about. Like that's how we relate to that. So that's why I said Hispanic. But in general, it could be rules, gender roles, all that fun stuff. And just to preface this, I was called a machista because I said I didn't agree with some of the things, but I don't think I count myself as a machista. But I mean, I'll let you guys be the judge of that.
decision.
But yeah, we're talking about gender roles in Hispanic homes, and as millennial parents, I feel like this is important because we're kind of the new generation, new lifestyles or whatever. So whatever we teach our kids or however we treat them, that's what's gonna be pushed down the line, So first off, let's start with how would you describe your home life, Talia? Like the traditional gender roles, is that still part of your family?
Yes and no. But I think my parents are more open-minded. Like there's certain things that my mom still does that is women are supposed to do, and then there's stuff that my dad does that the men are supposed to do. But then there's also
Yeah.
other things that they meet in the middle. So I think like my way of seeing things, like the reason I changed, it started with them because they started changing the little stuff, and now, in my house is way different. So that's why they half and half with them, basically. Yeah, it's hard to explain.
So the reason I bring that up is because as we grow up, we have like expectations,
Mm-hmm.
like both from from boys and the girls in the family. So I know with my whole the idea for this episode, I kind of want to see how you all react to that, because for example, in your family, who takes out the trash, and who does the stuff with your dad, the girls or the boys?
The cash is mostly the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, and then obviously if they're not there, the girls, we don't have a problem with taking it out. But the first, person, like the first person in line to take out the trash is usually a guy.
Like usually like the things that are like así como like the trash or unclogging a toilet or things like that, you would say that that's something that a guy would do, right?
Normally, yeah.
Okay, because I mean I'm just like, this is basically like I'm trying to build up to what we're gonna talk
I
about,
know you
because
are.
traditionally, like, that's how it is. Like, no matter how we look at it or no matter what we do with it, that's how it is. Like, I know now, like, once you, like, for example, if you were single and you were living on your own, obviously you're gonna throw away the trash, but if you have somebody to throw the trash, like you do, like, like you don't take the trash. You're like, hey, I left the trash there, take it out. Like, that's what you
Yeah.
exist. But
And my
go
mom,
ahead.
you're right. Like usually it is a guy. Even like I expect you to take out the trash, but
Mhm.
in that world where men have their jobs and women have their jobs, women are not even taught how to fix any, like a clogged toilet, how to fix anything on a tire. Like men don't teach women that because that's a man's job and it forever will be, according to them. And what I'm saying is when it comes to like half and half, the women know how to do it, they're not scared of getting their hands dirty. Now if the guy's like, no, I want to do it, okay, but we still know how to do certain stuff just in case there's no guy involved. And in that,
Yeah.
and above generations, that just wouldn't happen. Like, why is a girl learning how to change a tire? Like, no, she's not gonna learn.
Mhm.
They felt not why she doesn't get married or anything. Well, her father will do it. Her son, always a male. I don't know how to, men do the men's job.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, women will not do that, and that's it. Very limited.
Yeah. No, and that's the reason I bring that up, because I just want to like set that up as like the building blocks, because that's
Mm-hmm.
traditionally like that's how things are. Like
Yeah.
I never did laundry. Like I did laundry until I was like later on in life. Okay, I'll say that. But yeah, like things like that. Like what else? What else didn't I do before? Like I
I
wasn't
thought
always cleaning
you,
up either.
yeah,
You know.
that's what I was gonna say.
Don't make that face, 'cause you're gonna think I don't clean.
You've been clean, but I mean, before,
You're like, yeah, now that I whip you and train you to clean.
yeah, I just tell you how to be clean. That's it, nothing else.
On that topic, like, I have different eyes now. Like, now I'm like, damn, everything's dirty. And before I'm like, I don't care. I'll pick it up later. Okay, so yeah, that's one of the things. So these are the expectations growing up. Like, okay, boys do this, girls do that. Even though now
Mm-hmm.
it's changing, yeah, I'm not saying that's how it should be, but I'm saying like, okay, that's how things were, how we were raised,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna segue into like the fun stuff, and I know
There you
I
go.
see Daisy already joined. Too. It says the Stagilum said that she halfly changed the oil on a truck. Halfly? I don't know what halfly means, but I guess she like
Like,
only put half of the
actually half of the
bottle.
job. No, half of the job, or she made, I don't
Oh,
know.
half of the job.
See,
I
right?
guess. How can
Mhm.
you do half of, like, he just like drained it?
Like out
Maybe,
the oil, the
I don't
old
know.
oil, that's half of the job,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that's half of the job.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, I started learning how to do that like not too recent, not too long ago. But yeah, it's not super hard. But
Yeah, at
oh
least
yeah,
my
she said
dad
yes.
actually taught you. Oh, sis?
Yeah, she said yes. I just drained it. Yeah, how
See?
did you
See?
know? You like same girl, same.
Because that's half of it. That's all I know, how to drain it. Like, that's another thing my dad described. Like, he didn't really let me get under the hood and tell me how. No, he talked about it. I'm like, oh, okay. But I want to know. Nope. You know, that's an example. Like, no, you don't worry. You have a guy. Explain it so you won't be like asking anymore. But you won't do it.
Yeah,
So that's how you know.
I mean, like to give the other side, that's also for guys. Like, my mom was always the one washing our clothes, folding our clothes. Like, what's it called? How do you say planchar?
Same thing laundry.
How do you say planchar in English?
The
Ironing.
iron, Spanish translation
Yeah.
of English. Iron. Yeah.
Yeah, like she was the one doing all that, so I was like, why should I know that? But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like that's what I'm saying. That's how it was in the past. Like now, like I definitely want our son to know, like, okay, this is how you wash your clothes. Like I don't want him to be so dependent on
Mm-hmm.
the other person. I guess if I can say that. Like I want
Yeah.
him to be his own able body. Like he's able to do anything. But
Yeah.
okay, so let's go into the fun stuff. I know Daisy's waiting for
Mm-hmm.
me to. Oh, yeah.
To be
She's waiting for
machista.
me to be machista. Okay, curfew, right? So
Oh,
curfew and social activities. Let's dive in.
okay.
So okay, I'm gonna start with. I guess I'll start with me. Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't see letting my son out. Like, okay, let's say like he's already what time the guys? What time the week started going up? Let's say he's like 17, right? Or
Okay.
18, yeah. Let's say 17 because I can still control him a little bit more than 18.
That's
But
what you say.
17, okay. Okay, so if he's 17, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel the same like him going out than on like my daughter being the same age going out. And when I say this, I mean like my son going out by himself, right? Or my daughter going out by herself. Like I don't know. I guess it's just the machista or whatever that you guys are saying. But I don't. I feel more worried my daughter being out that late than my son being out that late. Like it's not a thing where like I'm like I gotta control you. You're not going out because you're a female. It's more like I'm more scared that something will happen to you because you are a female. Like, and like to argue my point. Okay, yeah. And to argue my point, I mean, like, I feel like they're in more danger than a guy would be. So, like, for example, today, and I was thinking about the way he said it today. Today, my brother was like, my little brother, he was like, I still wanted to go walk. But y'all went without me, right? And they're like, okay, why don't you go walk by yourself? And he's like, what if somebody kidnaps me? And then we all joked around, we're like, who would want to kidnap you? Right? And that's a joke, right? But if my little sister said, like, why can't I go walk by myself? Like, I wouldn't take that as a joke. I'd be like, yeah, no, don't go by yourself. Because I feel like there's just so many pedophiles out there or kidnappers, and like, to me, like that screams danger, you know. And with a guy, you know, like a male, I'm like, okay, that doesn't, like, yes, I'm worried, and yes, I don't want you to come home late either, but I'm not gonna be like over here anxiety mode, you know. So that's my argument. Like, what do you think about that?
Okay, here we go. So my argument is that, okay, first of all, I understand why, you know, the difference, because females have always been seen as the weaker gender. Because, again, before this generation, we are taught just to stay at home and take care of the house. We didn't know anything out the outside. So obviously ignorance is what makes it dangerous. And now, since both genders are having more outside experience, I'm thinking, well, if you're scared of, like, for example, like your little sister to get kidnapped, little boys get kidnapped all the time too now. Like, there's no, I mean, both of them can go through that, basically. Both of them could go through certain situations. And why not be more than the other, depending on the predator's type? But that's it. That's the reason why I think, you know, if you're gonna have certain rules, like, do it all across. Now, the only reason that maybe a guy would be okay, like, you'll be okay with Liam get that out later than if we ever have a daughter, is at least Liam knows how to take care of himself. Like, he's not ignorant. He knows the signs to watch out for. You know, we test him to take care of himself. And our daughter could also be in a position where she's way better at taking care of herself outside. Like, for example, me and Chewy. Sorry, Chewy, I'm gonna put you in here. Like, I'm way more street smart. It could be because of my age, but I'm a woman. And how am I more street smart than Chewy?
Gillian brought up baby reindeer. She's like, males are in danger too.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly my point.
Okay, so you put the example of our son. Okay. You say you trust him to go out, and that's what makes you confident that nothing's gonna happen. But also go back to that, like, if it was our daughter, wouldn't you feel a little bit more scared? You feel the same amount.
Yeah. I still have the same amount of anxiety because I'm raising both children, and especially, like, we're trying to be parejos, you know, equal. I have that confidence. I'm confident that our daughter, you know, will be raised like Liam, you know, like, that's how I'm gonna raise her. Like, you're gonna learn both things. You're gonna get your hands dirty. You're gonna get your nails done, both everything. You know, you're gonna take care of yourself and take care of others. Like, that's how I want to raise her. So at that point, I think I'll still have the same feelings, you know, both of them going out.
Okay. Okay, so I like what you said because
Mhm.
we're speaking in the future now. So like
Mhm.
we're gonna raise them the same, right? We're gonna teach the boy how to do both things. We're gonna teach the girl how to do both things, right? We're gonna be like different to how things were for us. So this brings me back to my point with earlier, like the way we were raised
Mhm.
traditionally. Like for example, you learn how to cook, you learn how to do laundry and all that, right? You learn those things, but like, did they ever teach you like, así como these street smarts? How did you learn like what was right, what was wrong, and all that on your own?
I am partially on my own because, I am. Pero también my dad, because I was a daddy's girl and obviously he brought me everywhere. So I will catch up on a few things and some other things he'll tell me. So yeah.
Okay, so there you go. So
Mm-hmm.
you were a daddy's girl, right? So your dad taught you
Mm-hmm.
how to like, okay, don't do this, don't that, watch out for this, watch out for that. But tell me if I'm wrong. Did your dad
Mm-hmm.
have a curfew for you? So he still had a curfew for you, even though he taught you all those things. And why do you think that is? Because
Because of
because
the
he's scared.
tradition. No.
Yeah.
Because of the traditional ideas. Like he grew up with them even deeper than we are. So obviously he still had a strong sense of, oh, you're a girl, you're weak. But he also said, we never really know who we could trust. I need to teach her at least something, you know,
Mm.
something, the minimum.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
like what I wish we could like do a like live call like, hey, why
That,
didn't you let her why didn't you let her stay out late?
hey,
Cuz
hey,
that's how it is, right? Like your brothers they don't have a curfew, right? They can show up the next day and everything's fine, but if you show up an hour late, like it's the end of the world. So
like that one time that I think it was the snowstorm that my other brother naturally he's like, oh, I'm gonna go and stay over with my girlfriend. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm engaged to Brandon. Where did you go? Like, and that's we had already. I think we already had our house. You were just staying
yeah.
here before because I forbid we lived together. Anyway, so yeah, and that obviously is like, what the hell? All that was because it's he girls gonna have consequences if they stayed over at a guy. So I'm like, we what? No, I stood my ground that time. That was fun. That's day to drive over here into the snow, but it was worth it.
Okay, so you're gonna hate me for
I know.
bringing this up, but as
Go for
just
it.
like you said, you just said that there's consequences for y'all, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
especially for if I have a daughter, I'm gonna be worried about that. I mean, like I don't want you to make a mistake or whatever. I mean, same thing
Mm-hmm.
for my son. Like I don't want him to make a mistake or whatever. But okay, both of y'all make a mistake. A boy and girl make a
Mm-hmm.
mistake. Who's the one that goes through the most like pain, or what most? Who is most affected? The female, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We are. But here's the thing. You're saying, well, not you. Okay, hold on. Let's put
It's
my dad
okay.
back.
You can.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
okay.
you, female roles, whatever. Anyway, I was
Yeah.
saying, well, women shouldn't be outlay because now we agree right now. They go through more, they suffer more, they get pregnant, they
Mm-hmm.
go through more. Okay, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna go out and get pregnant. What's the difference getting pregnant at 10 in the morning than 11 at night? Like, if I want to do something, I'm gonna find the time to do it. I'm not gonna wait till, oh my gosh, it's 1 a.m. It's time to get pregnant. Time to mess around. No, get that in the middle of the day. When my dad is like, if I'm going out, just be home by 10. Oh, well, get pregnant at 9. And show up at 10 like nothing. That's when I'm like, wait, no, like we could do whatever we want in that time given if we really wanted to, you know?
I
And
mean,
that's when
yeah,
I'm like,
you're you're getting to like something I was gonna bring up, but
Ooh, okay.
I guess that like the way that we see it, like as fathers, and I understand your dad, why he thinks the way he thinks, and it's hard to not think that way.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I mean I understand what you're saying. Because I feel like in each person, like así como te digo, like the person who is most affected is the female. Like if something like that happens, the female is gonna be the one who's like let's say for example, right? There's a one night stand or something, and
Mm-hmm.
then she gets pregnant, and the guy that she had a one night stand with like doesn't care and leaves her.
Um,
Like she's the one that got played. She's the one that's gonna have to have the kid. Like to me, that's my fear. Like that's the I'm like, okay, I don't want that to happen, but I understand what you're saying. Like if something like that's gonna happen, it's gonna happen at any time. But I feel like the probability of that happening is more and like after hours, obviously, or overnight. But I mean, I understand, and it's funny that you're saying that because you're like kind of confessing something.
oh, I'm not confessing to
You're like, if
anything.
we
I
wanted to
was a
do
good girl.
anything,
No, no, no. I showed up home at 10 p.m. and I was done for the day. Hey, we gotta be truthful. I mean, like, I'm the example, Brandon. Come on. Like, okay,
yeah,
come
I
be home
know.
to like, okay. And then, yeah, no.
You're like, but we're watching a movie at 10 p.m. It ends at 12. Well, yeah, okay, so yeah, that's why I said I don't agree with what we had talked about, but I do see your point of view. Like,
Mhm.
así como like there are rules, the more rules we have, the more they're gonna want to break them or whatever. And I mean I understand why it sounds unfair to let one out and then not the other. But
Mhm.
that's not what I'm saying completely. That's why I was telling Daisy, like, you might want to just hear what I have to say because she was already calling me machista, and I'm like, I'm not. How would I want to say it? Okay, so yeah, I'm also worried about both. Like, if they're gonna go out, yes, I'm worried about both. But I did want to like clarify, like, I am a little bit more worried because I know how evil the world is and whatever, and how men are basically, and like what goes on their heads or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's the fear that I have. Like if I had a daughter
Mhm.
in the future, or if I have one at all, I that's one of my biggest fears. Like I for sure want to do what you said. Like I want to teach her like this is right, this is wrong. Like be careful with this. Even though like obviously they're not gonna always listen to what warnings we give them,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's just it's a hard. I don't know.
So,
It's a hard thing for me to talk about.
so I have a question. So,
Yeah.
like, since you know what goes on in guys' head, or you know how
Mhm.
guys are, well, now that you're married and you're married to a woman, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm okay. Uh, you know how I am. You know how I am. You know how I think. Everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't it make you scared for our son the same way as for a daughter? Since you know both sides now,
Wait, we scared of what? Like.
like you're meeting a girl that is wild, just to use a word in general, like
That is
not
wild.
good for.
Oh, I mean, I'm not scared, like just because of what you just said, like, because you're gonna raise. I know you're gonna raise them not to be like dumb, look out for this, look out for that, and I'm also gonna be also telling him, like
Mm-hmm.
she's playing you, or be careful with this. Yeah, that
Then
he doesn't listen, then that's he's gonna find that out on his own, and we have to be there for him. But
yeah.
like, I wouldn't be. I guess the way that you're saying, yes, I would be scared because you're kind of saying like, what if she wants to have kids too fast or whatever, or like they just met and then things are going too fast or whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would be worried about it. Uh, but I would be, I don't know, like I would be a little bit more worried if it were my daughter, because I'll be
Mm,
like, man, he just wants to take advantage of you,
mm,
and you know, and like that's just I don't know. It's hard to explain how the weight, like I feel like y'all carry more weight in terms of like mistakes,
increasing.
like in everything, yeah. Like it's just hard topic, and I know, I know it sounds unfair, but the reason I say like I wouldn't be worried is because I would still put that rule, like you said, I would put the rule for both of them, like don't come home past this time for both of them. But I would be
Mhm.
more worried for my daughter than I would for my son.
Yeah.
That's where I'm differing, because I feel like even though we can say to her like, "Hey, watch out for this, watch out for that, do this, do that," at the end of the day, if she's not strong enough, or if she doesn't have the skills to protect herself, like she's still more in danger. You know, that's how I see it. Unless they're both like karate or something.
Well, okay, that's what I was gonna say. Like, unless it's obvious that she doesn't get things as easily or as fast as our son. Like, I understand. Like, be more scared. But if I see that Liam is like n- not as not dumb, but not as smart, doesn't get things easily, or it has, I mean, he has trouble recognizing danger. Like that's when I'll be like, okay, sure, I'm worried about you because guys think you're weak and everything, but I'm worried about this one over here because he don't get anything.
Mm, you
He's just a guy. That's his only defense.
you're referring to like if they're innocent, right?
Yeah,
Like innocent, like they
innocent.
don't know like when
There you
something's
go. Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah, even not even innocent, but more wild, more like adventurous, or looking for that rush. Like I'll be more worried for Liam going out, like knowing that he likes to race, than my daughter that just went to the
Um.
movies. Like there's certain limits to those ideas. And like in that case, I'll see Liam more in danger than our daughter. So that's I can't
Yeah.
really say, oh yeah, women are always gonna be the weaker ones, and we gotta take care of them more. No, like because it could go both ways. It all
Yeah.
depends
I
on the
mean, I
kid, on the
understand that.
person.
Yeah. Now, and also like when I say I see like don't want her to go out too late or whatever. I'm referring to like if she has a boyfriend, and just like the rules were on you like that, that I want to keep that rule going where I don't want her being with someone that I don't know who he is, like I would have to meet him and go through this whole ritual and and like get my brothers to scare him and everything before
Yeah, yeah,
before they go out. But
yeah.
yeah,
Same
when
way.
I say like I wouldn't want her to be out too late. I mean like if she was with a guy, like that's one of the things that differs, because obviously if she's going out with the friends or whatever, like that's different. Like to me that's different. Like if they're having a party or whatever, I'm like, okay, just tell me what's happening. Like,
She'll
like
tell you.
I mean, I want to have that relationship though. Like, I want her to communicate, what's happening. Like,
Yeah, but you gotta be realistic. Like, no, I didn't tell my dad everything, and I was daddy's girl for a while. You know, and then I'm
yeah,
going to
but
a
then,
party. Yeah, I'm going over here. Yeah, okay. Like, that's why lo que te digo. Like, if they want to find a way, they'll find a way. And it just sucks that we can't really know when, if they're being honest 100% or not.
well, that's the thing that we have to break that cycle, because the reason that you felt the need to not tell your dad the full story is because he set all these rules on you and they were unfair, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where we had to break that cycle and be like, okay, but like both of y'all have this rule, like you gotta follow it, and like we need y'all to communicate, like no matter what it is. Because imagínate, like even our son, like dealing with something and he doesn't tell us,
Yeah.
like
We should build that relationship that they feel confident enough to tell us certain things.
yeah, and not like como se dice, like give them so much crap when a mistake happens, but also like warn them, of what's
Um,
happening, because there's consequences to everything, and I feel like that's something that we have to remind them. But
like we're
mhm.
talking about a lot of about me. Like, is there certain things that your parents, roles that they put on you that you were like, no, that's not fair, or that's not how it should be? Maybe like that's
Mm,
how went. No, you just went along with everything.
no, I didn't have. That's the reason that I think differently to like your family, because I guess because we didn't have women. That brings me back to the whole female male thing, because since we didn't have females until my little sister was born, like we were only told, like, well, they never told us like, hey, don't do this, don't do that. They
Mm-hmm.
were just like, okay, tell us where you're going, you know, when are you coming back, and that was it. But then again, like, it brings me back to that, like, I guess they were not worried that something was gonna happen. I don't know, but like,
The traditional
and that,
ideas.
yeah, and that way that they made that for us, it made me, well, me, like, I don't know about my brother, but like me, I would tell my mom, like, I'll be like, hey, we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go here afterwards, and or whatever. Like, I would tell her exactly what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, later on with you, like, yeah, and like things
And
started to
blame
change a little
me.
bit, but but I would still tell her, like, I'm going here, I'm going there, like, oh, we're gonna go on a road trip over here, and like, I wouldn't say, oh, I'm spending the night with my friends, and then go to the road trip. Like, no, I would tell her exactly what I was gonna do. Well,
Mm-hmm.
not exactly, but where I was going. And
No,
that's the dynamic that I want our son to have. Like, I don't want him to always be like, if I told him the truth, like, all this bad stuff is gonna happen, and then
yeah,
he's gonna be in more danger. You know.
yeah.
Yeah, like,
So
I guess we kind of we kind of
yeah,
talked
we
about how things are evolving from the older generation to our generation, and what guys go through, and what the girls go through, all the rules that are different. But I guess to to just like bring back the topic, so you're saying that we should treat males and females equally, right? And if we put a rule on one, put the same rule on the other, right?
yeah, and that's what I believe in. Just like girls want to be, given the same opportunity of going out, for example, just like guys want to be listened to about their feelings, being emotional. Guys want that. Girls want something that they never got too. So it's equal, fair.
Yeah, it's hard to. I don't know. It's hard to get you on my side, because you're basically you're on the balance. So you're saying care about both of
I'm a
them, right?
Libra.
And
Yeah.
I'm a Libra, but oh my god. So you okay? So you said that you would be worried equally, right?
Yeah.
About both of them. Yeah, that's where I have a different stance, and even after hearing what you said, like, I still feel differently. Unless, like I said, unless they were like in karate or jujitsu or some type of self defense,
Yeah.
then I would feel a little bit better. On both sides, I would then be like, okay, yeah, like, they're okay, they can defend themselves,
Yeah.
everything's all right, like, but like reiterating what I said earlier, like, I don't want to come off as machista, because it's not. What I'm saying is more like, in terms of me worried about people, or worried about our kids, the worry scale, it goes more to like, if I had a daughter, it would go
Mhm.
more to her than it would for the for our son, because I feel
Mhm.
like, um, in an event like that, he can defend himself better, you know. But then that's also unfair to say because, like you said, it all also depends on like if they're innocent, like
Their
are they street
personalities.
smart? Yeah, or like what are their personalities? Like, are they gonna be taken advantage of? Things like
Yeah.
that. Like, yeah, I understand, and I would be worried as well for my son. But yeah, like I still think that that scale leans that way to the girl, and I already explained why. Like, I feel like if they had the training or something to defend themselves, then I would feel better. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a scary world out there, and that's the reason I think that way. But yeah, it's getting kind of late, so I'm gonna put a poll, and
Okay.
I'm not gonna say like pick a winner or whatever, but I would do want you to say to share your thoughts. Like, do you think that things should be equal? Do you think that what Talia is saying, have those same rules? Worry about them equally. Whether it's female or male. Or do you also worry, or do you think more on my side? Do you worry about them more? More, you worry about the female a little bit more because of everything, like um, out there in the world, and just like I said, like they don't like. Let's say in a hypothetical world that they don't have any self defense training or anything. Like, who would you be worried about? That's my argument. Uh, I hope I don't get canceled. But no, I mean I agree with most of what Talia has said as well. Like, I am the forward looking father. I wanna raise them to know both things and everything. It's just that I'm still worried more about the female, unless
Yeah.
she knows stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's obviously okay to be scared for somebody more than somebody
Hmm.
else. But as long as you're not like treating them different, yeah, I'm okay with that. Like you're not preventing Liam from learning how to clean. He already learned. He already does it. And I'm like, no, that's a woman's job. Oh, well, that's when it's wrong, like, okay, well, he's learning
Yeah.
how to clean. Good for him. As long as you're okay with the the change, the way your emotions, your feelings, they're validated. We understand why.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, and I agree with that because like you said, I don't tell him no, that's a woman's job or anything. And when I hear people say things like that, like even my little brothers, I'm like, so what is a man's job? Like, when are you gonna do a man's job?
Right.
Like you're just chilling there.
Like when I video told him, like
But
when you told him, why aren't you outside cutting the grass? You're over here laying down, not doing anything.
yeah,
I got him. Wait, I was spending here.
yeah. No, it was a fun conversation. I hope y'all share your thoughts on this when I publish the episode. And for the Instagram live audience, thanks for your. I saw that you guys, mostly Guilhem sharing her opinions on on the live. But
Mhm.
that's all I have for today. And then thank you guys. Don't forget to follow B3 Party C. And if you like our dynamic, I don't know, maybe we can just have
Yeah, you have to
podcasts like
start
this.
suggesting stuff for us
Yeah,
to talk about. If you guys want to
yeah.
hear us argue about different stuff, we can. We'll do it for free. It'll be
For
fun. We
free.
always like
Hey, wait, hold on. We can hit
arguments.
sponsors.
The arguments will get better, more, if we get sponsors. But hey, that's another day. For now, if you guys want to hear us talk about something, go for it. You guys saw how different we are, how similar. I'm sure there's way
Yeah,
more topics, babe, that we could talk about forever.
I know, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if this episode does good, we can be the couple podcast. Yeah. All right. Thank
All
you
right.
for listening and watching.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.